Hello, my name is Katie Lowery, and I am going to be talking to you about peer pressure. The definition of peer pressure is social pressure by members of one's peer group to take a certain action, adopt certain values, or otherwise conform in order to be accepted. Peer pressure can influence many choices that we make, but the most common things peer pressure affects are our fashion choices, alcohol and drug use, decision to have a boyfriend or girlfriend, choice of who our friends are, and our academic performance. A common misconception is that peer pressure only exists in teenagers. While peer pressure is highly prevalent among teenagers, it exists in all age categories. Little kids, teenagers, and adults alike all struggle with wanting to fit in and will often succumb to peer pressure because of this. Now, there are two types of peer pressure that people experience: positive and negative. Everyone experiences peer pressure at some point in their lives, and it is important to differentiate between positive and negative and be aware of the choices you are making because of peer pressure. Peer pressure is mostly viewed as negative. However, sometimes peer pressure can influence you to do good things that you would never otherwise consider doing. The difference between the two is how it makes you feel and how it affects you. Positive peer pressure makes you feel good and is good for you. Examples of positive peer pressure include when a friend encourages you to try a new activity, when a friend encourages you to study for a test, when a friend encourages you to eat healthier, when a friend encourages you to break a bad habit, or when a friend encourages you to exercise more. Negative peer pressure is the bad kind of peer pressure. Negative peer pressure encourages you to do things that make you feel bad or are harmful to you. It is important to be able to say no to people who encourage you to do things that you are not comfortable with or know that will hurt you. Examples of negative peer pressure include encouraging you to try drugs, alcohol, or cigarettes, encouraging you to have sex or any other sexual activity you are not comfortable with, encouraging you to cheat, lie, or steal, and finally, encouraging you to hang out or not hang out with certain people. Saying no to something is never lame. Saying no to doing something you are not comfortable with could potentially save your life or the lives of others around you. You should never let anyone around you dictate what you feel comfortable with, even if they are your friends. According to Teen Driver Source, 19% of teens report they would give up using a cell phone while driving if their friends did the same. According to The Body, the complete HIV/AIDS resource, 23% of teen girls feel pressure to have sex, and 33% of teen boys ages 15 to 17 feel pressured to have sex. According to the Foundation for a Drug-Free World, 55% of teens tried drugs for the first time because they felt pressured by their friends. According to the Canadian Lung Association, 70% of teens who smoke say they started smoking because their friends smoke or they felt peer pressure to try smoking. Sometimes it can be hard to tell if your friends are influencing you in a positive or negative way. The easiest way to tell is to see how it feels. Always go with your gut feeling. If it feels wrong, don't do it. If you are not sure, think first before deciding if it's the right thing to do. It is important to consider who your friends are. If your friends are encouraging you to do things you do not feel comfortable with and making you feel lame or uncool about yourself, you should probably find new friends. You should feel good enough about your friendships to know that your friends will not judge you for saying no to something. On the flip side, your friends can make you feel great about your choices. A great way to combat peer pressure is by finding friends who have similar values to yours. Your friends should always support your decisions if you don't feel comfortable with something, and only encourage the positive type of pressure. Peer pressure is something that we are all affected by. We all want to feel like we fit in and are accepted by those around us. And sometimes we do things simply because everyone else is. It is important to consider if what your friends are doing is what you should be doing. It is important for parents to have a good relationship with their child. Parents should talk to their kids about smoking, drinking, drugs, and sex, and always set a good example. Parents should encourage their child to have friends who support them for who they are and be involved in their child's life. If you feel like you are someone who encourages negative peer pressure, try to be open to other people's perspectives and listen to people before forcing anything on anyone. Standing up for other people when you see they are being pressured into something they are not comfortable with is also another way to combat this. Teens especially need to be very careful about saying no to alcohol. There is a reason that you must be over 21 in order to drink, and that is because teenage brains are not equipped to handle alcohol. Alcohol is involved in almost one-third of teenage car accident fatalities. Teens should also be careful about getting involved with drugs. Trying drugs once is almost never the case. Drugs can become highly addictive and take over your life. According to Foundation for a Drug-Free World, even a single dose of heroin can start a person on the road to an addiction. At the end of the day, this is your life, and only you can control the decisions that you make. You must make sure that you have all the information you need before making a decision you may end up regretting. Don't take the risk if you are unsure of the outcome.